I just want to preface this video by saying this is not meant to bring hate to Tiffany or Dive Studios or Samsung. All I'm really setting out to do here is to let you guys know what my experience was as someone who wanted to go to this free Tiffany Young meet and greet event in New York City in collaboration with Dive Studios and Samsung. So let's get started. Some of you folks might already know that I actually met with Tiffany 6 months ago, I believe, back in the end of July, and I have a video up of that which did pretty well, and I know a lot of people have watched it. And basically Dive Studios collaborated with her again and Samsung to bring her back for another meet and greet on February 3rd, Saturday. And so we got the tickets, right? It was pretty good. It was pretty organized going in there. You know, people were lining up, and by 10 a.m. they started letting people in.
I brought that back to my family.
So I was pretty excited to see Tiffany again, especially since when I did my meet and greet with her last time, I wasn't really happy with, what I had to say to her. I wish I could have said more. And I also brought my Forever One album, hoping that she would sign it. So, my friends and I were pretty pumped to finally see her again. And I know some folks came there who, it was their first time meeting her. So overall, the atmosphere in the place was pretty good. So around 10:30, we were pretty patient with everything. My friends and I were one of the first ones to get into the line, and first they positioned us in this, the center of the space. It looks totally different from when I first went near the end of July. And basically we waited there for 15-20 minutes, and then all of a sudden they started changing the positions of where we could stand. So we were like, oh, okay, all right. So my friends and I went to another area. No sign of Tiffany. Okay, so while waiting in our new spot, we noticed that these staff members and working for either Samsung or Dive Studios, they brought out these 2 director chairs and mics and actually put them in the Galaxy space. So already on the top of our heads, especially for those who have already went to this meet and greet before, we were like, wait a minute, something is wrong, because initially they gave us the wristbands to go down to the basement, as you guys might have seen from my past video, where that is actually where the fireside chat and meet and greet will happen. But yet here they are bringing in these 2 director chairs and mics and putting them right on the first floor of the space. So we were kind of worried, and by then it was probably already an hour has passed. It was probably already 11 a.m. So we were like, ooh, okay, what's happening? And at this point I was thinking, I hope Tiffany is okay, that she's safe. I thought that, oh, maybe they ran into some traffic, maybe. And then we saw that, oh, okay, staffs were actually bringing the director's chairs back down to the basement along with the mics, and that was kind of like a sigh of relief for us because we thought, oh, okay, like nothing's wrong, like maybe things will continue as they should. But then Brian Nam, the CEO of Dive Studios, as well as another staff from Samsung, came out and basically told us that due to some unfortunate circumstances, Tiffany would not be able to do the meet and greet. Okay, so that meant we wouldn't have the one-on-one talk with her, and she wouldn't sign the posters in front of us, and she wouldn't be close to us and going to each one of the Samsung stations. So we were pretty bummed out about that.
So Tiffany will still be signing posters that all of you will be able to collect at some point today, so that she has time to sign those posters. If you could come back after 2 p.m., 1 p.m. today, if you still have your wristband on, you'll be able to collect that signed poster. So just come back here sometime after 1 p.m. and you'll be able to collect that exclusive poster from Tiffany. Like Brian said, something has come up, but she'll be here in the next couple of minutes. So we thank you guys for all your patience and having me shift you guys around. Thank you.
There was really no explanation why this was happening, which, you know, I totally understand. You know, they didn't want to, I don't know, cause panic or anything. And, you know, while waiting for Tiffany, Brian Nam actually started walking around the Galaxy space and kind of going up to fans, and some fans were asking him for pictures.
Thanks, guys.
I was still pretty hopeful about getting my Forever One album signed, so I was having it, so I had it in one of the tables for the model Samsung phones, hoping that, you know, I would still get to see Tiffany up close, but that wasn't the case. They moved us again for the third time, and this time they basically told us that, you know, Tiffany is only going to be basically just going through near the front of the store, near the exits, and we really didn't have a chance to be close to her at all, which, you know, look, in retrospect, I understood why Dive or Samsung did that. So, you know, no one was really able to see her up close. And for me, I got a really bad spot in the space because she first went to this area, but there were walls blocking my view from her. And at this point, you know, the fans, So-Wons or Tiffany Young fans were kind of disheartened at this point, to be honest. And, you know, I was disheartened as well. Even when the Samsung and Dive staff were telling us cheer for Tiffany, she's here. It was kind of hard to, not gonna lie. You know, especially since we couldn't even see her. She was being blocked by these walls. And at this point, we were just starting to crack some jokes y'all, Tiffany looks so good, and kind of being sarcastic about it.
you can't see it from there either.
So after a bunch of waiting, Tiffany finally made an appearance. Of course, she's still testing out the Samsung products, okay, so for the promotion. And then I got another spot again because literally barely anyone could see her. She went to this like corner of the space where, I don't know, she was doing things, and it was kind of funny because you know how in concerts where if you're in like the nosebleed seats or if you're really far away, you just rely on the big screen in the concert hall to kind of see your idol. It kind of felt like that because like my whole section was relying on this one girl's, like she has an awesome camera and she was able to like zoom in and find and get a good glance of Tiffany. We were all looking at Tiffany through this one girl's camera. It was so funny. You know, at this point we were all just trying to find the positives of the situation, even though we were all like very sad. And I even told my friends I'm so sad and kind of like depressed. Well, I wouldn't say depressed, but I was pretty sad. Move! Bro! Please! We've been here for hours! Yo, someone tell him to move. What's move in Korean?
Sir!
What's move in Korean? Okay, there we go. No! Can someone Papa go move in Korean?
Thank you.
Where's the right top?
I love the new hair color, Tiffany.
I'm holding it slightly.
No, I'm just gonna get fan cams of Brian at this point. Hi, Brian! You're the only one we can see. Hi, Brian! And then by 11:30, you know, at this point, she's only been here for like 10 minutes. You know, she started to talk to us a little bit. Again, we weren't allowed to get close to her. She was pretty far away from all of the fans. And, you know, she kind of told us about some of her projects. Oh, I also want to mention the mics in this event were so bad. I don't know if they realized that because none of them seemed to acknowledge it while, you know, they were making these announcements of like, oh hey, you need to move to this area, or oh, we canceled the meet and greet. Their mics were so muffled, at least for me, like people who were in the back couldn't hear them at all, which sucked. And it's so funny because while they were making these announcements, the background music were still playing, so we could barely hear them through the background music of the store. Even when Tiffany was talking, barely any of us could understand what exactly she was saying because the mic was so faint and the background music of the store was playing.
You're so pretty.
by 11:35-ish, Tiffany went down to the basement, and basically none of us saw her since after that. They said that, come back at 1 p.m. to get your poster signed, so she has time to sign. And so it took her like, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, or 30 minutes maybe, to sign a couple of posters. And my friends and I waited in the store. You had the choice to either just leave the store and come back at 1 to pick up the poster, or stay in the store to, like, I don't know, explore the Galaxy space, Samsung Galaxy space. And my friends and I were low-key in denial. We were thinking, oh, we're gonna see Tiffany again, like she's gonna come up these escalators, right? And I still had my Forever One album and a Sharpie, hoping that we would catch her leave the area and she would sign it. But after waiting for an hour or so, they started to give out the posters, and there was no sign of Tiffany. The posters that they gave us were basically the same ones that we got last time. And we were checking to see if the posters were actually signed, because we didn't see her at all after that. She was like just in the basement signing these posters. And there were some people who were actually kind of disappointed that the posters were the same ones, because I don't know, like we didn't get to meet Tiffany. We barely got to see her because they put us away from her so much, which again, like in retrospect, I understood why they did it. But yeah, it was just an unfortunate event for all the parties. I'm sure Tiffany was not happy with the situation. I'm sure Dive Studios was not happy with the situation, and neither are the fans. Actually, my friends and I even tried to wait an hour more by the exit of the Samsung Galaxy space, because we were just so in denial, like, oh, we're really not gonna see Tiffany up close. And yeah, eventually we left the store at 2 p.m. and just moved on with our lives. Overall, I don't want to bring too much attention to why this happened, but if you look it up on Twitter, you'll see why. And it's just really unfortunate that this wholesome event that a lot of fans have been looking forward to, especially since, again, we don't see Girls' Generation members that often, since they're all the way in Korea and they barely or rarely have any promotions abroad. This was really a chance for us to see Tiffany again, and of course, congratulate her and welcome her back to New York City. And it's just disappointing that Tiffany's experience has been soiled because of this event, not event pertaining to Samsung and Dive Studios, but the reason why. Again, I don't want to bring too much attention to like why this happened, but again, you can search it up on Twitter, allegedly why this happened. But yeah, that was my experience of it. Again, very unfortunate. I just wanted to make this video because it's so strange. I've never been in a situation like this before. I mean, like, I know it happens, but for the reasons that it did happen, I just thought it would happen in like movies and such. Like, I've only heard it secondhand, not experienced it firsthand. So it's very unfortunate what happened to this whole event, and I hope Tiffany is most importantly okay and safe. I hope the fans are safe. I hope that Dive Studios can recover from this, and that their next event with Mark Twain is ends off in a much nicer note. But yeah, overall, that was the experience of coming to this event. And yeah, I hope this video helped. And yeah, I just wanted to retain this memory just because it's so unique and I've never experienced anything like it before. All right, bye-bye.